Hi there, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another soul mission activation message. This is such a specific message and it has been on my mind all weekend. And the message says, live. You did not die. Live. You did not die. This is a message for those of you who are grieving the loss of something, of someone in your life. And when we say that, we generally think about maybe a passed on loved one. But the truth is, there are so many of us walking around grieving the loss of ourselves, the loss of aspects of ourselves that were caught in a relationship, left in a particular moment in time, left when a career dismantled, when a job was lost, left when you had to move unexpectedly from a place you had called home for a long time, left in the fire, left in the flood. And the truth is, if we're not careful, okay, I'm hearing even with our awakening, that there are aspects of ourselves that we must come face to face with and then release if we are to move on to a higher version of ourselves. But can we be honest? That other part of us had been with us for a while, had been familiar to us, had been what we had been told that our identity was formed on. And it can be difficult when we are leaving one foundation behind to then create a new foundation. And for some of you, you are blazing a whole new trail that no one in your family or friend group has ever done. And there can be this uncertainty as you are walking this new path and this wondering and fear about whether or not you are doing it right, whether or not you heard right, whether or not this expression of yourself is really, really true to who you are. But I'm hearing live, you did not die. And what I'm getting from that, there is this sense that the longer you are here on the earth plane is the more opportunities you have to do the things that you committed to doing before you came, to have the experiences that you committed to having before you came. And sometimes, if we're not careful, we can allow those experiences and those opportunities to pass us by because we end up yearning for wholeness, yet all we do is feel broken. Yearning for a new beginning, but feeling trapped in the old version of ourselves, of our relationships. There is this sense that we are being asked to begin to dream again. See, when we think about loss, this is not just loss of a loved one, loss of an opportunity. This is the ways we have lost ourselves, lost our identity. And the question is, how do we get it back? And so many times we give up on ourselves because we're just not sure where to begin. We're just not sure if we would be accepted by the people we love. We're just not sure if we are even worth it. And I'm here to remind you today that if you've been really stuck in this endless, mindless cycle of low self-esteem, of feeling all this lack, of feeling as though you're not good enough, that you should live, you did not die. You have this opportunity to do something different, to make something out of yourself, to make something out of nothing. I must tell you a story before we dive deeper. I remember several years back, I lost a very, very close relative to me. It was a cousin, but he was more like a brother to me. And he never woke up. He died at 25. And for a very long time, with him being like a best friend, brother to me, I struggled a whole lot. And I remember I was stuck in certain grief stages, if you will. And I remember I stayed in denial for at least 2 years, or maybe 3. And there would be instances, because I was away from where he was anyway, it was almost as though I would tell myself that, oh yeah, as soon as I got the chance, we would meet up and I would tell him this. Like, I would share this story with him. And so it's almost as though I had primed myself to believe that I just hadn't picked up the phone to call him and we hadn't had our chance to get up, but that we would. And when I moved back, the reality set in. And I had to work through the shame, the guilt of not being there, the pain, and all these things were things I had piled on myself, even needlessly. And I remember after several years, a message came through. It said, live, live, you did not die. Why are you acting like you've died? Why are you acting like all hope is lost? Why are you acting like you still don't have time right now? Why aren't you making the most of your time? What are you saying no to that you should be saying yes to? What if you have time? See, many times we look at the sad part of life, oh, we always think we have time. Oh, maybe it's I don't have enough time anymore. But what if you do? There's so many people who have resigned themselves to dying at a certain time, and then they outlive so many other people. And it's so interesting to ask yourself, well, what if I had been making moves on the things that I really wanted to do? What if I had been taking the time to be present in my life and having fun with the grandkids, running out with them? What if I was making the best use of the time here rather than living out my life like a zombie or the shell of who I truly am, just because there were some disappointments in my life, just because I dealt with painful situations, just because I didn't get the thing that I wanted at the time that I desired it, just because I had to move my home, just because my family have ostracized me. You fill in the blanks. Just because the twin, the counterpart, the person I had been giving all this love to rejected me. Do I then now give up? Do I give up the ghost? Do I throw my hands up in the air? Do I stay in bed the entire time? Or do I get up and live? And what does living mean to you? See, sometimes we get so caught in a funk that living means surviving, because we have this sense that things are being constantly thrown our way and we are playing it from the back, trying to catch up. But maybe for you, when you think about living, you begin to think about the times when you were out with your girlfriends, or you had your group that was just so meaningful for you, on whom you could depend. Maybe you think about when you were blooming at a job. Maybe you think about when you had all the nice clothes and you took the time to take care of your body, to take care of your mind, your soul. Maybe you think about running wild in the nature, because I'm hearing vacations. Maybe that's what you think about. Maybe you also think about when you were attached to a particular person. And maybe that's what causes angst for you, because that person is no more, or that person is not accessible to you. But how can you recreate these feelings of bliss, of joy in your life again, using who you are and what you have, versus constantly looking outside of yourself to another person, to another moment in time, when you can choose to live right now? So what does living look like for you? And how can you begin to take small steps to live again? What would it look like if you decided to really live? What would that mean? How would you reshape your life? How would you show up in your life? How would you show up at your job? How would you be in your business with your customers? What would you do that you haven't been giving yourself permission to do? Live. You did not die. even though it may have felt like it, because you may have felt like the air was taken from you. You may have felt like your heart was broken in a million pieces. You may have felt as though you were violated beyond what anybody else should have been exposed to. You may feel as though you've made the biggest mistakes of your life, but you're still here. So the mandate for you is to live. What is the use being alive and not living? And maybe it's about taking small steps right now. Small steps to dream again. Small steps to get out of bed. Sometimes that's what it takes. Rolling out of bed even though you don't want to. Maybe what it means for you is walking around the block of your community. And that's the start of your weight loss journey, of your health journey. Maybe for you, it's about talking to people again and not isolating yourself as much. Maybe it's about really getting your business online and really seeing if anyone would be interested in it. Maybe it's about beginning to talk to people about your experiences and how you overcame them, how you were able to bounce back. Maybe it's about not hiding yourself anymore and not expecting that your life is trash, even if you've been through a whole lot. See, it's so important. It's so important that you rise up again. Rise up again. I'm literally seeing someone like on the floor, crawling through life, just trying to not be seen, trying to figure out how you can dodge everything that wants to come your way. But isn't it true that to live and to truly embody life is not to just look for the great moments and attach to those? Because even the moments that we've seen as not so great, even they are a part of our experience. So living is about being open to experiencing who you are in the fullest capacity that you can and truly expressing all that you are into the world. What would it look like if you didn't hold yourself back? If you showed up for yourself completely. Even when they say you're not good enough, even when they say you're too old, even when they say you're naive, even when they don't agree with your beliefs, even when it means you might lose some friends, what would it look like if you showed up for you? See, how can we expect others to sing us praises, to show up for us, to support us if we don't even give ourselves that support? So how can you start? I want you to tell me in the comments section below one thing, no matter how small, one thing that you can do to not just remind yourself that you are living, but to give yourself the honor of embodying this human experience, because you are a spiritual being who has chosen to have this human experience. So why not live it? Why not show up in it? Why not be who you are meant to be? Why not do the things that you are meant to do? And why be afraid to do them just because you could be disappointed or you could, be rejected? Why not give it a try nonetheless? I'm hearing it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. Isn't that a great mantra for our lives? That it's better to have shown up, to have shown myself, to have embodied myself completely, and you didn't want me, than for me to have held myself back, knowing that there could be other people who would resonate with me, who would create a community for me, who I could be totally happy around. Why hold myself back from that opportunity, from the chance? Take a chance on yourself. Take that risk. Jump in and be who you are meant to be. Follow your inner knowing, because I'm hearing so many of us can get cut off from that. Cut off from the inner knowing, from the God nudges that are coming our way, because we get so scared of life. Live. You did not die. Yes, you may have lost a loved one. Yes, you may have lost people who are near and dear to you. Yes, it may be difficult grieving. Yes, it may be heart-rending getting up and seeing that the person is no longer there. Their message to you: live. You did not die. It wasn't your turn. It wasn't your time to go. So then how are you living as though you aren't here? How are you dialing yourself back as though you're not worth it? I want to grab one card for us. It's the Self-Love Oracle, and I want to close with that. Let's see what wants to come through for us. How can we end this message? This soul mission activation message. What do we need to hear as we close this reading? The gift of command, throat chakra. Some of you, to live, it's about speaking your truth to yourself. Some of you, to live, it's about being compassionate with yourself, to say, hey, I know what you've been through. Say your name. I know what you've been through. I know it hasn't been easy. I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. Let's take these steps together. No matter how difficult, we're worth it. Sometimes it's about speaking life into yourself. Again, live. You did not die. Speak life over your situation. Speak life into yourself. Speak life into the dreams that you have, because they can rise again, because you are still here and there is still time. I love you for being here. I'll talk to you again soon in another video.